put the kids to bed, dads are home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the dad world order. I am the one, the only, Mr. Magnificent himself, Mike Martin. With me, as always, my esteemed colleagues, Eric Big Rig Murphy, and the Bluegrass Bomber himself, Mr. Brando. As you see, we have a special guest with us. The one, the only, the NWF superstar. You can see her there, you can see her here, you can see her a little bit everywhere. She is Big Mama. What's up, Mama?
I'm doing good. My kid is in bed too. So, I'm ready to rock.
Things get a little TV 14 around here sometimes. So, we just put that out there to begin the show. You never know what you're going to get. Well, yeah, we figured what a better mix than Big Mama and the dads. They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
They really do. I have to say, I think most of my fans in the crowd are probably dads. We're just going to put it that way.
Hey, my son was a fan of yours instantly. We were at the show. Our first show he went to was the one right before Summer Sizzler. And it was a face-off with Miss Ella, the champ. And Eric, do you still have it? Our gift for her?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
so,
God.
Speaking of Miss Ella and your failed attempts to pull the strap from her grasp, the women's championship from her grasp, we came up with a little something for you. Dads are problem solvers, and so if people don't know, Ella is the Scream Queen, and the Scream is how she got one.
These are officially these are one of one licensed. I'm telling you right now, you ever go up against her
again, need those.
You're gonna need them
for real. That's awesome.
This is the missing piece.
Oh my God! Why didn't I think of that? Jeez.
So anyway,
that is brilliant. I love it.
Mama, do you
try to help you out?
Those of for anybody watching that doesn't know you, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the woman. I am Big Mama. I'm here to kick ass and take names. I don't care, guy or girl, equal opportunity ass kicker. And yeah, I've been at this game a while. It's been 16 years, and wow. It's been a hell of a 16 years, and I can't wait for the next 16.
You got some stripes.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish women's wrestling was as popular and as hot as it was, back when I was in my 20s, but that's okay.
Right.
That
well, I will say this: you definitely have a fan in my almost 7-year-old daughter. She, for the longest time, would sit down and watch wrestling with me, and she would only watch the women's matches. If a guy's match came on, like Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson could have come on, and she'd have been like, nah, whatever, and walked away. Like, as long as there were two girls on the screen. I mean, she found out about wrestling because I was watching the Royal Rumble one night, and it was the Women's Rumble was on. She woke up and came out and was like, oh, what's this?
Oh, hell yeah.
So just, you got a fan in her, for which all of us too, but just know that she thinks the world of you guys. So
thank you.
She normally likes the baby faces. She don't like heels.
That is true. She wasn't a fan this past Saturday. She did not like the antics that Big Mama was using against Miss Riley Matthews.
Is it antics or is it just being smart in the ring? I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. Someone that understands. Explain it to Big Rig. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
She was a future star. It wasn't a lie.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong. That was actually another funny moment at Dynamite. She was there. All three of us were there, and I brought her with us. And she called Brandon crazy because he kept cheering for all the heels. She thought that she was like, he's nuts. Like,
what is wrong with him?
Yeah, because he was cheering for Jericho, Britt Baker, like all, and Yeah.
Lordy. I mean, you know.
I touched her for him.
Oh God.
I think the weirdest one I ever had, I have to be completely honest, it was my Canadian debut earlier this year. And so I've done the
Bluetooth
Earth
connected.
I've done the Earthquake as my finisher for years. But I have never once heard the crowd say sit on her ever. And yeah, like seriously, there was probably 20 to 30 people in this crowd that were all cheering, sit on her. I don't know. My mind, I was just like, I mean, I'm going to at the end of this.
Yeah.
But I'm weirded out that you're telling me to do this. I don't know. It was weird.
I mean, I see people with freaking, like I feel like there's the two biggest ones right now are like Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Like I see people making signs that are like "Step on me, Jade," or
Kita too. You
like
got the Kita in there.
Kick me in the chest.
They want Rhea to choke him out or something, and it's just like, oh, teach their own. Teach their own.
No,
you got to give the people what they want. Yeah.
Yes.
Know when to post it, when not to post it.
So have you ever held the NWF Women's Championship?
Oh boy, no, I have not.
Wow.
I probably set the record in the NWF for most attempts at obtaining a title. True story. I cannot even tell you the number of times that I attempted to beat Cindy for the women's title. It was a really, really, probably a ridiculously embarrassing number. And then, so then when we introduced the Women's Revolution title, kind of the tides had changed and we've been able to really step everything up and everything else. I literally found out, oh my God, I love my son. Let me be very clear. He is my freaking world, but definitely found out 2 weeks before the first ever women's ladder match for the new title that I was pregnant.
No.
And it was just that moment of son of a.
So the women's division is that
Roger.
Yeah.
Look what you've done to me.
But my son has technically won his first match already. We did not know that I was pregnant, and I definitely won the Battle Royal in Mount Orab. And yeah, so apparently 2 people won, and we just didn't know until a couple days later.
See, not antics. She's being smart. 2 versus 1.
There you go.
That's gonna be like when he goes to WrestleMania or something, and they do the video package. This kid won his first match before he was even born.
In utero.
My God,
in utero.
He's
a child of two wrestlers.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. So he already can walk up the steps into the ring or whatever. But the other day we were down at the training center and just slid right up on there from the outside of the ring, like he's been doing it his whole life. And I just went,
oh man,
too soon.
You got some growing up to do, bud.
He loves it though. Oh my God, I'm pretty sure. First of all, one of our wrestlers, who just debuted this weekend, AJ Vest.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I am 99.9% sure that he loves AJ far more than his mother. He will really run clear past me. I won't have seen him all day. I'll come to get him at training. And AJ is his dude. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I love it.
AJ was awesome.
That was his first match on Saturday.
So that was his first match post announcing, I guess.
Okay.
So
in front of a crowd.
Yeah. He's been training for quite a while. That was his first match, though.
Wow.
I would have never thought that. He did very well.
I told Big Rig there, I was like, I'm getting total Edge vibes from him.
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yes.
And I told him if he ever cuts his hair, I'll kill him.
Yeah,
So,
his hair's beautiful.
His
hair's beautiful.
Brandon,
Gorgeous
imagine
hair.
if Edge and Jungle Boy had a baby. That's what this kid looks like.
Yes.
Wow.
Like the hair
I
of
never
Jungle
even thought
Boy,
of that, but yes.
but
Jack
the physique of Edge. Like, just picture that for a second.
Yeah.
Like, this dude, yeah. I just
Like
came
a
up with
younger
that, by
Chris
the way.
Jericho.
You're welcome.
Like a younger Chris Jericho.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I could see
That's
that.
fair.
But he's very tall and slender, so he kind of has the
Very.
build of Edge. Yes, he's very
I
up
have
and
to go in
down.
a minute just because I said Jericho. But moving on.
Jericho
I-
is like this, whatever. Anyway, guys, again,
I love
Yes.
you just made the list, Jericho. I despise the current Jericho. Moving on.
you just made the list.
You sanctimonious son of a...
Sanctimonious son of a
That's
bitch.
phenomenal. That was one of my favorites.
Sanctimonious son of a bitch. All right,
Me and Brando have a running feud, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to bring this up on like every interview we do, because otherwise nobody will understand it. I am a huge Eddie Kingston guy, and he loves Chris Jericho. And
Ocho.
the seat he's sitting in right now is the very seat I was sitting in at Revolution this year when Eddie Kingston made Jericho tap,
He didn't
and
tap.
Brandon's never gotten over it.
He didn't tap. He was just trying to signal to Aubrey he was having a cramp. She called it as a tap.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This
you
is
are a
awesome.
true fan
This is
of Jericho.
every night.
I love it.
These kids.
I love it.
He's also, the one that your boy, your hometown hero, said was the GOAT.
That's fair.
We don't have time to go through all the
I'm just saying.
evidence,
I'm
all the
stating-
evidence, but
stating facts.
that's neither here nor there.
You
So
stupid fat idiot.
I got questions.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah. All right,
I
go
got
ahead.
answers.
You go first. I'll have a second.
Okay. How I guess I would say in the past couple of years, are you getting a lot of women like wanting to come in and learn? Like, is it still pretty popular that, or do you kind of have to like, hey, come try out or whatever?
So I would say in the last couple of years, our numbers have kind of exploded. So we went from having, when I started, it was myself and Cindy, but Cindy she'd been wrestling a long time. So
Mhm.
she wasn't really around a whole lot.
Is that a ring name?
Yeah. But
Cindy.
it is also kind of half her real name too. So
Okay.
just spelled a little differently.
Right.
Cindy Lou Hill is her full name. Not a lot of people
I've seen
know
her
that.
dressed up like that though, for the record.
Not a lot of people know that.
But oh goodness, maybe about 6 years ago, we got our initial kind of founding 4 girls that kind of started the revolution, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 2 years, it exploded. And we still have girls coming in to check it out. And it's just like any other training center. You'll get a group of about 10 and one will stick around. And
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, but I think we've had a lot more success with our women. I know we had a ton of inquiries right after our women's show. So I think
Okay.
that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
So, but we've got a solid group. We've got 10 girls, and yeah, it's like the word impressed isn't even the word for me, like, because they're just that good and that dedicated. I haven't had a group of women that I've been surrounded with like this in such a long time that it's like, it's just awesome. I love it.
That's big.
that's-
You're a veteran too, 16 years, so that's big.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. Like, everybody brings something a little different to the table.
Mm-hmm.
No one brings the same thing. And
Like us.
yes, it's like
I'm the pretty one.
Oh, by far.
like it should, and everybody's creative and like brings their own stuff. Like it's great. I love it.
No, our first experience with NWF was, immediately impressed by the women's division. It's something that like we've really liked. I have daughters myself. I have a 21 and 18-year-old daughter. And I've tried to push my 21-year-old because she's tough as nails. She was in the Army, and I was like, you need to do like
Tuesdays
MMA.
and Thursdays,
Yeah.
6 to 8. Just saying.
I know that'd be Dad's dream, but I'll keep pushing that button as much as I can until
I will
I got-
work with her fantasy camp.
yeah. Hey,
I can make that promise right now.
hey.
So how?
Camp,
Yeah. Oh, we are
when we
100%
end.
down for that.
Yes, I really
hold tight for probably another week for an announcement.
Okay. And I know we had, we spoke briefly about just logistics of everything, but obviously the experience is worth more to us than any kind of footage. So,
Oh my God. That's how I started.
really,
Actually. One of my friends, who is now wrestling as, I have to remember his name this week, Alex Hayden. He's the one who invited me down. And I
is
ended
that
up,
MCE?
yes. Yeah.
Okay. I can never remember his name. It's Chris Demise and Blueberry. What the hell is his name?
That's what everybody chants.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He should embrace it and I'm going to make him a Blueberry shirt.
Oh my God.
Stop
coming.
wearing blue gear to the
I feel
ring.
like, see, there's your answer. Although I will say, oddly enough, he did at one time wrestle as Big Rig, so I popped for that. I'm just gonna say.
Hey, there we go.
He
Whoa.
was Big Rig, and he had full-on trucker gear and
That's awesome.
the whole 9 yards. So
That's amazing.
but yeah, he invited me down, and I ended up going to our shows for the entire summer. I may have handed Roger Ruffin a pair of handcuffs at some point during that summer for a wrestling match. And I ended up
The rest is history.
pretty much. And then I did our fantasy camp at the end of the summer, and yeah, I was hooked. Like, there was no questions. I was going to college 4 hours away at the time. So I ended up driving up every single weekend for the shows to help out and do everything. And then I actually transferred home, and I thought my mother was going to murder me because she was like, "Why are you transferring colleges?" Well, Mom, there's this thing.
I really do.
I kind of like to throw people around.
Yeah.
How did your parents take it?
So I did not tell my parents that I was training for, oh my God, like 6 months. And I was randomly like bruises all on my arms and stuff. I'm pretty sure she was convinced that my boyfriend was beating me.
Yeah, your old man's like, what's his name?
Like, literally, it got a little sketchy. And then I was like, okay, so here's why I look all beat up, Mom. They took it really well. It's really funny though. My mom literally came to every single show, every single, like, everything.
Aww.
Until I started wrestling.
Nah, that's dumb.
And I was just like, okay, well.
All right.
Yeah,
She doesn't watch any of it? No tapes, no nothing?
Well, we're at the point now where if I go, hey, Mom, this is a really big night for me. I really want you to come. She'll come to the show.
Okay.
But it takes some prodding.
I
get it, though. I get it.
Yeah.
Who would you say was your kind of biggest inspiration? Maybe your wrestling hero coming up.
I mean, it's gonna be really cliche, I feel like. But China was like the shit, man. Like,
yeah,
it's literally
ninth wonder of the world.
She broke every single barrier you could possibly think of.
Mm-hmm.
She is the reason why wrestling was banned in our house.
Oh,
I have a brother who's not a full year older than me. I refuse to let him have those 12 days, damn it. And we had bunk beds, and I was China. And you know when you press slam your brother off a bunk bed, things get banned in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
Dude, it was bad. I thought my mother was gonna murder me.
I had a Boston crab, my little brother, that cost me an arse whooping.
Speaking of Boston crabs, I just need you to put this in your head because I still have yet to figure this out to this day. I got my shoulder dislocated by giving someone a Boston crab.
Wow. Crank that hard on it?
You cranked that hard.
It was all my fault, guys. We had someone who was real inflexible. No one else could get a minute. So I was like, damn it, I'm doing it. Yeah, famous last words, poor life choices.
Hold my
And I
beer.
literally like got it on, stepped over. Their leg was so inflexible. It like literally
Wow.
separated my arm from its socket.
Wow.
That's terrible.
That's been the worst injury though. So knock on wood. That's been.
Yeah,
Hey,
no kidding.
yeah.
Good for
That
you.
was the only bad one where it was like, God, okay,
You
I
drink
don't
a
know
lot
how
of
this
milk?
happened. Yes.
I say I drink milk my whole life. I drink milk with like every night at dinner, and
Dude, I love it.
never broke a bone in my life.
That's right.
Except maybe like my pinky toe one time. It still doesn't move very well, but it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, pinky toe. As long as it's not the big one, you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned intergender
That
matches. You
sucks.
do? Have you guys? I haven't seen any intergender yet in any of the shows NWF, but I've seen them in other companies.
Yeah.
Which I love, especially when the participants can do it well. Like you've seen Jessica Havoc up at Wrestling Revolver do
Oh
it.
my, that's a dream
Wow.
match. That is a dream match. I will not
I
lie.
would
yeah,
love
you guys.
I
to
would.
see that.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
We
You name the
fantasy book
place,
you
I
guys all
would
the
totally
time.
be there. Oh my god. So we've definitely done them. Right time and place. Jay Donaldson and Nikki Victory. Oh my god, they had some matches that were just freaking incredible. Because he's super athletic, so is Nikki, and like they were doing ranas and Spanish flies, and
Oh, I bet.
I mean it was incredible. There was one series back before I decided to throw Nikki through a table. Life decisions. We were a tag team, and we actually did an entire thing with before Rex separated from Hollywood Adam Swayze. We actually did an entire. We were not friends with them. They tried to kick us out of the business. Said women didn't belong. I will say it is one of the few times I've ever been picked up on someone's shoulder like that because that was terrifying. I am usually not the one being picked up.
Not Swayze.
And Rex just threw me up like I weighed 10 pounds. And I was just like,
Well,
he's a whole lot of dude.
Yes.
Rex,
oh my gosh. Yeah,
man.
he is.
That's a fantasy book for me right there. Crash Jackson and Rex. Whoa.
That would be so good. Oh
Wouldn't
my
that be
gosh.
awesome?
That
I
would
love
be
that she
very
knows all these
good.
people too. This makes me happy.
Yes.
I get to travel a little bit more than our boys, so I
There you
actually
go.
know
That's
most
awesome.
of our people. It's kind of fun.
Well, we're going to Wrestling Revolver in a couple weeks up in Dayton, so we're pretty
Hell
pumped
yeah.
for that.
Oh, yeah.
Spectacular as well.
And we will be at Spooktacular next week. Yep.
I will be there with a whole family costume on, guys.
Yes.
Aw.
I'm excited.
We're actually bringing at least I'd say like what 6 or 7 people with us, something like that.
Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
we should have decent numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it
Hell
over.
yeah.
Pretty excited about that.
You're slowly taking over things.
It's everybody we've brought through is like they don't think of wrestling like that and know what kind of immersive like experience that indie wrestling is when it's done right. And
It's a totally different experience than going to a WWE show and things like that. Completely different.
I told Eric this the other day. So we said we were at the AEW Dynamite this week in Cincy. In case you didn't see, you could see us in the crowd. But
I did see pictures though. I did because I was watching.
But we went to that show and then going to Fight for the Future on Saturday night with you guys. And I mean, it just feels it's two different ends of the spectrum. And I gotta say I have a little bit better of a time at Indies. It's like
it's the reaction and like you're getting that live moment. I don't know. It's a totally different feel. And I love them both. I just love them both for different reasons.
Yes. But it's like football. I don't know. I think like with football, everybody loves going to Bengals games and stuff like that. But I'd rather sit on my own couch and watch it where I can pause it.
I'm also blind, so I need the little markers. So it's nice to watch it on TV.
Right.
Yeah, I can never see what the hell's going on. Yeah.
I need the markers, unless I'm like right on the first row, and I'm not paying for that. So go Bengals, 2 day, but I'm not paying for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same way. Like it was fun to be, 5 rows from the ring. I've never done that before, but it's not one of those things where like, oh, I have to do this again. It was like I'd kind of rather sit up a little higher and, or just watching at home on TV.
Oh yeah.
Now it was really cool to like be there, especially during Dark Elevation and like seeing all the NW. I'm like, there's Nasty Russ, Nikki Victory. Like we, seeing all
Russ.
these people that we know. Yeah, poor Russ getting beat down by my boy Kingston.
For the record, his partner actually was a former NWFer too.
Really?
So, yep.
Okay.
Team Money and Nasty Russ are the Thugs. Oh
Okay.
God, they were around. They were one of our core teams for years.
Okay.
So he's got a family and kiddos.
Move everywhere because, like, I seen Lord Cruz, old partner for Cincinnati's Most Wanted.
Yes.
He's up in he was doing show in Hamilton. I went to Future Great.
Oh yeah.
With Blackstone.
Yeah, my brain is dying right now,
I
but I know exactly. I know exactly who you're talking about. My brain is blanking.
But no, it's fun. We do get out and try to take in as much as we can, and it's fun to see like Pompano Joe. That guy's every promotion I think I've been to so far.
Yes.
Okay. No wonder he's everybody's homie.
No, he really is everybody's homie. And here's my dog. Bessie, you want to say hi? She's like, no.
Yeah. Mine was trying earlier.
If I didn't have my headphones on, my dog would have been like, huh? What? Other dog? So you spoke of, obviously you traveled around a lot, and I saw that you and Riley actually went and wrestled for Mission Pro. What was that? That had to be an experience. What was that like?
So first of all, like they literally that whole weekend, like their mission statement really, like they live their mission statement. I mean, it is definitely a pro women building up, giving you the tools to succeed. And it was just a really, first of all, if Roadhouse was a thing, that's the house that we stayed in that weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it was insanely awesome, but like you get to the airport and you're like, the fuck just happened in our lives? Because like literally, so we land at like 12:30, 1 a.m. We get picked up and we go to this house that's just filled with air mattresses, and it's all the women wrestlers, and like everyone's jacked, everyone's getting ready for the show, and it's like at 3 a.m. and you're just you got a show the next day or later that day. Right. And like the whole atmosphere is great. We also got the show that we happened to be on was the one where Thunder Rosa and David LaGreca went through the giant beer tower.
That was the beer tower one?
That was the beer tower show.
Wow.
And like
that was awesome. She speared LaGreca through a beer tower. It was great.
It was fucking awesome.
That is amazing. So I'm a huge Thunder Rosa guy. Me and my daughter have met her twice, and she was the sweetest, most awesome woman to my daughter. So she's
amazing. She's
number
amazing.
one to me. So yeah, definitely had to ask. So like, how did that like come about? Like, did they just like send out feelers to people, or?
So they were looking for tag teams. And I've really, since Nikki and I are no longer friends at all, we've been kind of just doing our own thing. And they say that your enemies may also make your best partners. And Riley and I definitely go toe to toe and can throw down with each other, but I can also pick her up and launch her at people. It's helpful. Yeah.
It makes for a very dynamic tag team.
It really for what I can't do, she can do, and what she can't do, I do. So it's a really good balance. We also have a kick-ass theme and a really killer team name, so I'm super
Forces of Nature, like that's awesome.
I was just like, dude, like there's no girls out here doing this. Like let's do this shit.
And you guys got to go against the Renegade Twins, which is like even more awesome. So
they were so much fun to beat up. Like
Yeah,
we're
sure.
really hoping like future stuff is gonna come up with them. Like that
Oh,
is
I hope
definitely
so
our
too.
goal.
They're
So
fantastic. Yeah.
they are an absolute treat to work with. Like, yeah, any day I would get in the ring with them again. Any day.
Yeah, that
Taking notes
so
on
cool.
this, Mr. Magnificent. If we get through this fantasy camp, we can use that as our finisher as a tag team. The Magnificent Missile. Launch you. So
I'm telling you,
hell
the
are you
launching
throwing?
works. The launching really does work. I
Man,
mean, if you're the one on the bottom launching,
we've
Right.
got some names. We've
I actually came up with one on Saturday while we were sitting in the crowd, and me and Mike both looked at each other like, "That's amazing!" It's the last mustache ride. I
I
think
love
that
it. I love
is
it.
awesome, and
we totally popped in the middle of it.
we were both looking at each other
our
like,
own independent ideas.
"That's awesome!"
I like it.
So,
I like it.
Yes.
hey, I've been in the middle of work. Brandon
Yes.
and I work in the same room. We work at a candy factory.
That's awesome. Okay.
We work at the Airheads factory.
Hell yeah.
So
I
we'll
just work
have
at
to
a
bring some
place that
candy
makes
Saturday to
airplane parts.
Spectacular and
I'm lame.
Please
contribute.
do.
Okay, excellent.
But
But I'll
yeah,
come up
like
with an
it's
idea,
that,
just yell across the room. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'll be like, "I just came up with the best idea." He's like, "Oh my
you don't
god, I thought
understand.
you heard
He was up on top of a piece of equipment, and I was down talking to another operator. I just, oh my god, just as loud as like, what the? And I know he's up there sweating. He's hurt. He's running down the steps. I just thought of this. I was like, dude, that is fucking amazing. Wow.
It's the best
I gotta
moment.
tell somebody else. I'm old. I forget things.
I feel that. Oh my god.
but yeah, that just like I was looking at all the people on that card, but like obviously you guys faced the Renegades. Genocide was on that card. Kylan King, Sky Blue, like that
It was
is like a
stacked.
who's who of women's wrestling right now, and I'm like, God, that's awesome.
And it was such a great experience because we were able to sit down and kind of meet with everybody and talk with everybody all through the whole weekend. Like it was a really, really cool trip. Like yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome.
So
Go
I
ahead.
have a question. I have to ask this on every single one of the wrestlers that come on here. What is the worst bump you've taken?
Oh. Yeah, well, okay, so probably the concussion bump.
Oh.
Probably the concussion bump. So
What was the move?
I was hooked for DDT, or no, I'm sorry, a suplex. And so normal circumstances, I'm going up and over and cool beans. Well, apparently they decided a DDT was in order.
It's almost like
So I went up and then went straight down on my head.
Ooh.
I
did
watched
it look cool at least?
Oh, it looked wicked as fuck.
I mean, silver lining, you know what I mean?
And I rolled up and I yelled the F word really, really loud.
I kicked you out.
You were concussed. It's okay.
And then like 10 minutes later, after everything is that, by the way, I still had to do, I think 5 more matches that weekend.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
And I don't remember any of those matches.
Rub some dirt on it.
It was bad. And then I drove home by myself from Florida.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Girl.
Just, it was a whole situation of like, what not to do when this happens.
Yeah.
It was thank God.
I think we all have a few of those experiences, like, how the hell am I still alive kind of deal.
Learning experience.
I literally remember one of my friends texted me. I didn't even get home. Like I had to go to work. It was one of those things where like I was driving straight into work the next day. And my friend texted me, he's like, all right, did you make it to your work parking lot? I was like, yeah, how did you know I was out of town? He was like, we talked for like 2 hours while you were driving through Louisville. Didn't remember the whole conversation.
Oh, no.
God.
Yeah.
I had something similar leaving a bourbon tasting in Louisville, but that's a totally different story. I did pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for that trip, Brandon. Mike Martin special.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love it. But
That's
yeah, it's
embarrassing.
that was 10 years ago now. So I mean, we're not.
Wow.
Well,
So,
good. It sounds like
yeah.
you take good care of yourself, and that speaks volumes for yourself, and that speaks volumes for the people that you work with as well.
Yeah, we won't discuss Sizzler and the tooth incident, but
Whoops.
That is one thing I have noticed about the company in a whole is that everybody seems to take good care of one another.
yes. Yeah,
I
it's
say that speaks volumes for Roger and Chris and whoever else is involved, and maybe you, I guess, for
I
dog and
do
training
I do
as a
help with
veteran.
I do, yeah. I feel like I hear a lot more about like a lot of the girls that I've worked with, like, yeah, I've had this injury and this injury. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I've had two in 16 years. Like, what are you doing? Like
Right.
Right?
that you're on
Is
like injury number 4 and 2 years
Does that have to do with
in.
your style? You think?
So I do think partially it's my style because I mean let's be honest, not many people are throwing me around.
Right.
Right.
But the thing is, like with Nikki, I knock on all sorts of ridiculous amounts of wood, but I mean outside of like tweaking an ankle or something just during like normal stuff,
Mhm.
I can't think of anything that's happened with her. Ella, like this, like all of our girls and guys have all been relatively injury free. But I mean, we focus so much on our trainings on the basics and the fundamentals that when crap goes wrong in the ring, like we have a solid foundation, which I don't think applies to necessarily everybody, unfortunately.
Right.
It's where people, a lot of our trainees will forget, they'll go out to an outside show, a non-NWF show, and they come in, they're like, oh, that's why you guys like the NWF. Yeah, that's why.
Well, because I'm sure it's like anything, you have people that think they know more than they really do, and that's
Yeah.
how people get hurt.
This-
Accidents happen, obviously, but then
absolutely.
there's
the
times.
scariest thing I think for me as a female worker, up until probably the last four-ish years, you didn't know who the hell you were walking into on a non-NWF show. I could walk in and it could be, oh yeah, this is my cousin. I didn't have another girl. She's never trained.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Like I can't even tell you the number of times that happened when I was
Yeah, that's
starting.
got to be scary. I mean, like you said, luckily for you, you're not really taking a ton of bumps, but like,
yeah,
for if say Riley were to go in there with some person, I mean, you're just asking to get hurt.
And I preach that to our girls because it still does occasionally happen.
Mm-hmm.
People still do try to do it. But yeah, like it was a huge problem when I was coming up. And I was just like, all right, hopefully I don't die tonight. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's cool about, obviously what like Thunder Rose is doing. And obviously like you take the women's wrestling at NWF very seriously. Like you are trying to, not saying that these girls have to stay at NWF their whole life, but prepare them, for life outside of this, so that when if they do make it big or whatever, like they have a solid foundation to stand on.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That is definitely our whole goal, girls and guys, is that you can safely have a career. I mean, Roger has been wrestling. Oh God, don't quote me on this. Hopefully he doesn't get mad at me. Almost 40 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, there's a way to do it safely and there's a way to do it not safely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and that's what he instills in the guys. Like, don't get me wrong. We all want to do the superplexes. We all want to do the ranas. We all want to do all the fancy stuff, but we still got to get home to our kids at the end of the day,
Right. And that's, I mean, and honestly, like Roger, like as I've been getting more into the indie scene and stuff like that, I can't tell you because like I run the Instagram account for podcast here, and like the amount of wrestlers I see that I like just click on, trained by Roger Ruffin, trained by Roger Ruffin, trained by Roger Ruffin. It's just like this, he's got, a ton of influence, and that's awesome.
He
Quite the
does,
tree.
yeah.
Like Bill Belichick of indie wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
Well, don't tell him that though. He would not like that comparison.
Not a Belichick fan.
No. Oh my gosh, no. But he, yeah, I mean, and I'm definitely not just saying this because I'm his wife, I swear, but I don't think I've ever met someone that just lives and breathes and loves professional wrestling.
I believe it.
Like he literally, it astounds me just how much he pours into it. And it's like, we get down to the end of the week and he's just exhausted. Yeah, let's slow down. And then it's, oh, wait, let's add 4 more shows.
Yeah.
Well,
So, I
and
mean,
that's the thing is you guys are running shows almost every Saturday,
every
then
week.
Every week, sometimes twice.
you're doing training throughout the week. The shows you guys put on are awesome. Like you can tell, like to run a promotion, you have to, have some sort of drive. So like for the shows to be that good and to run that amount of shows, like you have to just live, breathe, and love it. And that's
He
awesome.
does. I ran one show and I was like, nope, we're gonna need a whole another year before this happens.
Right.
I would
Yeah,
love to
I
see
can't
an all-women
imagine.
ticket be at a venue.
That would be
where the
awesome.
all-women ticket.
Well, I
Maybe I talk
can
my daughters into going.
You can be the sneak peek. We already have the one next Revolution Rising 2 already starting to work in the books.
Yes.
Exclusive.
I can tell you right now, it will be May of 2023. I cannot give you exact date yet, though.
You heard it here first, folks.
Did you hear
Putting
that?
vacation day
First,
for right now.
the DWO first. Oh my
That's
God.
great though.
That is awesome.
I was gonna say we haven't seen. I seen Ella in Street Clothes the other night, and noticed like I haven't seen her defend that title in a while. I feel like
It had, yeah.
We watched it at the one me and Emmy went to, that Swan
okay.
City. Yeah.
Okay,
She defended against
she did
Savannah
defend
Sweet
against
there.
Savannah. Yeah.
that's
Yep.
right.
I think
Mm.
Savannah is
Which-
definitely a superstar in the making, man. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
She's so natural and so good.
I pop for
Charismatic.
Ella's Power Slam every single time I see it though. I just sit there. I'm like, vintage Orton. I mean, vintage Ella. What?
Do you do a pounce?
So awesome.
I do, yes.
Yes,
I
we
do.
love a good pounce.
So
Big.
I
Liz is a big fan.
love Willow Nightingale like with a passion. Like if
God.
you watch any of our past shows, like I am the biggest Willow Nightingale mark on planet Earth. And when she got signed the other night, I was freaking out. And
sent us a
her
text.
pounce is my
Aw.
favorite thing on planet Earth because
She has a beautiful pounce.
launches people, and it's
Yes.
amazing.
So
I
we
love it.
once, T Money, one of our guys that was on AEW, I literally watched him. I still don't physically know like the physics of how this happened, but it did. He pounced Jesse Hyde, if I recall correctly, all the way through the ring ropes straight into the wall
Oh my.
of Bone Crushers. Like and he was on the other side of the ring. It's not like he pounced him in the middle.
Right.
He literally
yeah.
pounced him from the front side of the ring through the ropes into the wall. That's my
it's
pounce
so
goals.
good.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Well,
Like,
when
I
Keith Lee did
see-
Adam Cole though.
Yeah, my two favorites are Keith Lee and Willow. Like those
Oh, yeah.
two.
Willow's pounce is beautiful. I want to steal like half her stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it's her
That
stuff is
Dr.
so
Bomb.
good.
Oh,
Yes.
The Mama Bomb.
and she
I
does
mean,
a-
I'm here for that. I like that.
I love it. Yeah, she
It's
and
the
like
Mama Bomb. I can hear
I've
it.
said, like that, like she's just so magnetic. Like I don't think there's ever a way you could ever turn her into a heel on planet Earth. Like she is
No.
a baby face for the rest of her life.
That smile.
But like the music, she
Yeah.
comes out, just dance. I love it. It's awesome.
And the thing is, that's her in real life. Like that is.
Yeah, like that's just
it is
her
literally-
turned
that's
up
just her.
to 11.
I love it.
It says when that's the best characters when they're just an
Yep.
extension of your actual self.
Yep.
So would you
Love
say
it.
Big Mama is you turned up
It
to
absolutely is.
110?
It's more like 130, but it's literally just everything that I have to. So I did social work for a long time. I actually worked for Children's Services, and then worked in the
Oh, bless your
developmental
heart.
disabled field. And it literally, I think it was all the stuff that I couldn't say. And it just
Yeah.
explodes in the ring. So
Yes.
I mean, it just kind of goes,
Vomit.
bleh.
Yes,
It works well though. People remember it. So
that's right.
That's awesome.
Just like so at home with like the kids, do you like have Big Mama moments where like she just comes out when you're like, do the damn dishes?
dude, so my kid will literally
Dress
just
is
turn to
bad.
look and just go. Like you could see the change in his face where he's just like, oh shit, mom's
Uh,
wrestling mom? I don't know.
Wrestling mom, what's happening?
She left. Big Mama's home.
It's the best thing ever though. I will say though, my kid totally made my wrestling life complete probably the other day, going through setting up music and entrance songs. Mine plays and he goes, Mama, Big Mama music. And I'm like, oh, my kid knows my entrance music.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah.
It's a good moment, guys.
That's
Aw.
awesome. Gotta love that. That's amazing.
That's
And
life goals.
Yes.
that is, oh, God. that's
NWF
awesome.
wrestling is the only wrestling I have ever gotten my son, or any of my kids for that matter, to ever participate with me in. I've been watching
Okay.
wrestling since I was a
Addie
tyke
keeps
Saturday
saying
morning.
he wants to
party
come with me,
queens.
but I don't.
But
It's 3. I don't know if she's going to understand anything.
he went to
Daddy,
the
I
first
want
one
to
with
go.
me on a whim, and then
Yeah.
and he was like, the next one was Summer Sizzler. He's like, Dad, we got to get tickets. I'm like, well, yeah, and
That's
so
freaking
he's been going to
awesome.
everyone since. It's the only one he goes to.
He's
though.
bringing his friends too.
Yeah.
Like that's the best part.
Oh,
Like
dude,
we'll
that's
come and
yes. I love it.
Sean Evans keeps stealing his friend's cotton candy. It's a running bit.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Time to say off them kids candy. That's
we
rude.
did.
Trust me,
it's a
we
running feud.
have an ongoing feud on Instagram. We've been going back and forth.
Oh my god.
Him and Titan. It's gonna come to a head. It's
You
gonna be
gotta-
the
you can go
culmination of
look
our
at-
fantasy camp.
After this, go look at Mike's Instagram and you'll see the greatest meme you've ever seen in your life made by Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin.
I will definitely go and look at that.
The
Into sadness.
Oh my god.
Oh, I killed him on it.
Oh my god.
He said something, and I was like, "All right, I got you. Hold on."
So obviously, next time we are blessed with your appearance at a next NWF event, I'm going to cheer Mama Bomb.
I'm here for
Bomb,
that.
Mama Bomb.
I'm going to want a reaction.
I'd like to see her incorporate JD Drake's move from the outside.
Yeah.
The outside of the ring. I think, especially with some of the smaller women you work with, to be able to throw them off the ring. I was saying that the other day. Like once I noticed that move, like now I see it a few times, but I've never seen a woman do it yet.
I like those kind of moves. I'm a fan of those.
I feel like it fits in your wheelhouse. I don't know, but whatever. You know,
I'm not opposed. I could
we do
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of
You have
fantasy
to come and
booking.
check out.
We do.
This guy,
Yeah.
that guy, Big Rig's a hell of a
Okay.
booker, man.
You'll hear me. And if you go back and watch any of the old shows or any of the future ones, I'm the resident. So my nickname is Big Rig, but my secondary is Big Sass, because I tend to be a little more sour, because
Sassy Daddy.
I book
Sassy.
stuff in my head way too much and want it to be a certain way. So when it's not,
sassy.
Sassy
I'm an
Daddy.
idiot.
Oh my god.
So yeah. But that's just because I know what I like in my head, and if it's not that, I'm like,
He just loves. Don't listen to him, Big Mama. He just partial.
He does better than the Weatherman though, because
Me and Magnificent love heels. He's just partial on his baby faces.
yeah,
do you call Eddie
almost
Kingston a babyface though? Eddie babyface. He's more
Eddie's
of
a
a tweener.
Eddie's a tweener for
That's a
sure.
solid tweener. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, like in essence, if you had to pick one, yeah, he's a babyface. People are going to cheer him, but he's definitely a tweener.
Like Big Mama.
He's a fat.
yeah.
You know,
I
people
can't
just
deny that.
people boo her because they don't understand her. I understand her.
See, exactly.
The dads get you.
I
All
love
right.
it.
Do you have a favorite wrestling match of all time?
Oh, that's so. I just actually recently I saw this a year ago, so recent.
Okay.
It was Aja Kong versus
Oh God.
Manami Toyota from 94 or 95.
You're gonna have to send me
Oh,
the link.
I will absolutely send you the link.
Yeah, please.
It's seriously so I was watching it at work because that's what you do when you're at work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Never.
And
Never.
I found myself like literally like, oh, is she gonna get her? Oh God. Like, and it's for me to like get sucked in like that is kind of rare. And then of course I was like, oh, now I'm gonna try to do this, this, and this from all of it.
Right. Yeah.
It was just, and it was so far ahead of their time as far as women's wrestling as well. Because it's a match that today would be 5 stars, no questions asked. Like it best match I think I've seen hands down, where it was just like I was sucked the hell in. Like it was so good. So
Me and
like
Mike
something-
did something similar the other night. We went back, like we just took a Saturday night and just went back and watched like 5 or 6 different Bret Hart matches. Like we watched like, Bret and Owen at WrestleMania 10 and him and British Bulldog at SummerSlam.
Wembley.
And like we were saying the same thing, like how all the moves they're doing you see today in wrestling. And it just, which is something we're actually going to turn into a series. We're going to like pick a wrestler, watch like 5 or 6 of their matches, and then kind of do a show about them. So if you ever want to send us any particular woman wrestler and come back on,
I can definitely do that. Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
We are all dads of daughters, and we are big fans of women's wrestling. We constantly talk about how women's wrestling needs to give a better shake. It is, it is definitely moved in the right direction. We're away from the days of bra and panty matches, and
thank God.
Yeah.
They actually putting people on that can perform, and it's awesome. We love seeing it, and we love people that support that. And you guys, like I said, the NWF does their women's division is.
We love it. We love it.
I think that's pretty much all I got, man. I can't think of anything. I'm sure as soon as we get off here, I'm going to have like a million more questions for you, but I'll ask you on Saturday if I see you.
When we see you.
I will be there. That's for sure.
We got to get the picture. Every time I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
She's back in her street clothes with that stroller so quick, buddy. I'm like,
because I'm trying to chase that kid around. That's what it is.
Wonder if we can talk to Wildcat into like giving us a little spot, like if Star Rider's in trouble, he calls the DWO out and we just hop over.
Like a bad signal.
All right, we're out.
A conch. Pulls out a conch. He goes,
yeah.
The galaxy conch.
Dad's
DWO assemble. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God.
Drop down from the
This is the stuff that goes through our heads. Just know that. That's not like an off the cuff thing. This is stuff we talk about on a daily basis. Like we've already fantasy booked our own. We've fantasy booked our own version of. You remember like when NWO did Sold Out in WCW? Well, it would be DWO sold out at an NWF show, and it would be SOLED, like a soul of a New Balance.
It would be a picture of a New Balance.
Yes. Like this is the stuff we think about. So just FYI.
I love it. I love it.
One of these days, we're just going to go invade Kirk Shepard. We're going to do an invasion angle and go push him around. Hey.
On the power pod.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like I would pay to see that.
Hey, invasion angles always work.
They do. So we did one. It was NWA and HWA way back in the day. And it was complete shoot. No one had any idea anyone was going anywhere.
Huh.
That doesn't work. Just so you guys
That
know.
had to be a cluster.
The video footage itself is kind of terrifying because like everybody's shooting to like kill each other.
Wow.
And it was just like one of those moments like, oh, what have we gotten ourselves into? But
Right.
I will say the matches that came out of that, incredible. Absolutely. They did it was Chad Allegra, Carl Anderson versus Cody Hawk at the UAW Hall in Fairfield. And
Wow.
that crowd was absolutely electric. Like it was amazing. Amazing.
Chad Allegra.
I just think that's so cool. Like just knowing that these guys that we see on AEW and WWE, like they came from here. Like that's, I mean,
absolutely.
just like seeing, Lord Cruz and Nikki Victory and, all them the other night. Like I watched them a couple weeks ago,
You're like, they were down at UAW Hall down the street.
Yeah, right.
I love that. That was like my first like VWF or VFW Hall. I was like, this is so indie wrestling. Like this is what it is all about. And the crowd was wall to wall people, sold out, and it was absolutely electric from bell to bell.
Yeah,
that
dude, they were
cage
into all
match.
of it.
Woo.
It was so good.
Right? They walked in there
Mike,
like, how the hell are they gonna
you gotta send her that video you made of Beck doing the Spanish fly.
Oh yeah, we had the perfect angle there.
Yeah, see, I
And that
missed
Spanish
that.
fly
I
is
haven't even
beautiful.
gotten to see it yet because
I'll
I
send
was
it to
literally running like around the building
I
to try to
was
watch
so
the end of a match.
Cameras were shooting across, and we were sitting against the wall there. We were sitting right next to Riley's dad.
I hope he wasn't cussing me out too bad. I'm sure
Oh,
he
he's
was.
hilarious. He is
he
hilarious.
was so funny.
He is so funny.
Yeah.
He was going
was
in on
all over it.
everybody. Every person came out, boo!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's always a good time.
And like, so at the beginning of the show, I distinctly remember saying, I'm like, man, that ceiling is awfully close to the ring. And then like James Cross got up on the ropes and like had to go like this. And I was like, yeah, that's real close. Like that's, for sure. And then they got up to do the Spanish fly spot. And I was like, how are they going to do that? And it was so seamless. I for sure thought somebody's foot was going through the ceiling. Like
Not a single
100%.
tile injured in that stunt at all.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
God.
it was
One.
beautiful. Wow. That whole thing was awesome. That was so good.
We measured. We made sure. Well, we were praying we had ample room.
We
were praying.
That was when I saw him get up on that rope and just go like this. I'm like, oh god.
We I once jumped off that cage out to the outside.
Really?
True story. That was a fun time.
Onto people or onto objects?
Oh, onto probably about 20 different people.
Okay. It's like a lumberjack kind of setup.
So it was. I actually wasn't even in the match. Big Mama, you insert yourself. Things happen. And so
Mama takes care of business.
Pretty much. So it was, I believe, Nasty Russ versus Titan. And we were, I was at the time feuding with this group called the Pumpkinheads. I'll let you take that for what you will. We had two guys that were Pumpkinheads. And they decided, Russ pulled me out of the concession stand and like curb stomped my face into a chair. Got my first black eye ever. Yeah, good times. So then
50,000.
So, well, the best part about that was though, the next day was Father's Day, and my husband did not go with me. So I show up to Father's Day with a giant black eye, and he's not with me.
Ooh.
Let me tell you guys, that was not a great Father's Day.
I'll bet that went over well.
It's a work injury, I swear.
Just like, it's fine. Like, I swear you tried to save me. I don't know. But we did a whole thing. Like, we were doing a whole thing. They came out and tried to attack Titans. So then I said, fuck it. And I climbed up to the top of the cage and dove out on all those people. Yeah, it was a good time. I would like to
Butt
tell you that I
puckering
would do
moment.
it again, but I don't think I would say that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Say my cage match at Sizzler, I did go off the top ropes, but that was it. That's a side of that match.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Sizzler next year. I wasn't able to go to this one, but Mike was there and he could not stop talking about it for like 2 weeks straight until I went to the first one I went to was the one at Burkus down in Ludlow.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is a cool venue too.
Which that
Love
was
that
awesome.
venue. Love that
really
venue.
Neat. And like bringing my daughter to that, like sitting in the front row, she's like, we get to sit in the front row, and I was like, yeah. Dad's a big spender, But she, the first show me and her ever went to was AEW Dynamite in Cincinnati last year.
Okay.
And it was awesome. Loved every second of it. She got to see, I'm pretty sure that was like right after Ruby Soho debuted.
Yeah.
And she loves Ruby. So like she was all about that and everything. But then after that, I think she went to a WWE show with her mom. And then we went to a Warrior Wrestling show. That was my first indie show I'd ever been to.
Okay.
And it was in Indianapolis, Indiana. We drove all the way to Indianapolis. And that's when we first met Thunder Rosa and a whole bunch of other people. And ever since then, like Emmy would rather go to an indie show than go to a big one. Like any day of the week.
I get it.
We could go every other weekend and she'd be happy.
I've only been to one NWF event and I had a killer time the entire. I'm ready to go. I'm so excited for Saturday.
We've got a good card. It's going to be stacked.
Need some more women's matches on there.
Fingers crossed. Card is always subject to change, but
go Tony Khan route, announce some day of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Here's the entire card. Coming tonight at 7 p.m.
I mean, that's what Raw did last night. Raw had freaking 2 matches announced last night.
True that.
True. Yeah. Very true.
They're all doing that a lot. But yeah, I've really, I always knew indie wrestling was there, but it was never like a thing for me. And like, super shout out to Warrior because like, obviously, I guess you would call that like a super indie because they have
they're definitely a super indie. I would definitely say that.
But still, like it was $20 to get in, and then we got to meet, and I got to watch Thunder Rosa, Athena, and Sky Blue in a triple threat for the main event of that show. Like, where else are you going to see that?
They throw down.
That's
dude.
amazing.
Like, their cards are phenomenal.
Yeah. It was fantastic. And I'm really glad that Mike found you guys, now that we have the local ones to go to.
I've been all the shows because I wanted to catch it. We all live in Kentucky, so I was trying to catch them on this side of the river first, for my first show. And I wanted to catch it down. My daughter has a house down there in Ludlow. And I was like, man, I just wanted to line it up, and like it would never work. I work every other weekend. We actually all work every other weekend.
Right.
So it's like it never fails. The weekend you work is always that show, right?
Of course.
Some of them I do. That's the good thing about NWF shows is bell times at 7:30. I can make that. We're out by usually 10 o'clock. It's still time for get daddy in bed by a decent time. So, but yeah, it's. The one I wanted to see was when they inducted Abyss into the Hall of Fame, and I missed that show, and I was very upset about that. So, I didn't know what I was getting into, though. I didn't know how late and stuff like that. But nah, in hindsight's always 20/20.
Oh, of course.
That is the other thing.
Anniversary coming up soon, so.
Yes.
That is the other thing I appreciate is that we are usually out the door and headed home no later than 10:15 p.m.
Mom appreciates that too.
Very appreciative.
My kid doesn't sleep. Oh my God. He's a wrestling kid. He's
ready to rumble.
He is. I will say though, I give him points. Like we'll be breaking down and he's just like, all right, let me half carry this pole with you, Mom. So he's
Yep.
learning. He's learning early.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
it's
Gotta love it.
they all seem to be.
I would love to do that. I would just love to get in the ring just one time and take it off. Oh my God, it's a turnbuckle.
Everybody that I've dealt with though in that company has been very positive, and just easy to deal with. So
we're very fortunate to have just the crew we have is amazing. You can't, that whole cliche, teamwork makes the dream work. Like it's for real. Like we couldn't do what we do every single weekend without a good crew. Everybody pitches in, everybody busts their butt. Everybody is working to make it a good show. So you can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
that's
for
paying
sure.
off.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's wrap it up.
So yeah, I guess I guess by the time we drop this thing, Spooktacular will already have happened.
No, Saturday afternoon.
Oh, is that when we're dropping?
We're dropping this Saturday at 1 p.m.
Saturday at
before
1. Okay.
Spooktacular.
So yeah, let's go ahead and plug Spooktacular, why don't we?
Spooktacular Covington at Hits Indoor Baseball. Doors open 6:30, bell time 7:30. Please come in costume. I will have mine on. I'm sure a bunch of the other wrestlers will too. And we've got our heavyweight champion, our women's champion. You name it, they're going to be on the card. So it's going to be good.
So this is like a almost like a pay-per-view level event.
Yes, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a banger.
Love it.
Mama, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you.
Certainly
you
a
so
pleasure.
much.
Well worth the wait.
Very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So guys, obviously this is Big Mama. She is one of the most fun and just awesome wrestlers that we have ever gotten the chance to see. Please check her out. And also, if you want more interviews like this from us, please check us out. Like, subscribe, please. It helps us out a whole bunch because then more people can see all the fun that we have here. So, please do all that. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say it every time. Top dads.
The Ocho's God.
Dad, bullshit.